You know it and I know it, that almost everything that you own is losing value. It's called deflation. Household wealth has fallen now $1.5 trillion. That's just in the second quarter this year. Household net worth has fallen over $10 trillion since the recession began. Stocks are down almost $2 trillion. You're not making as much money. The unemployment numbers are shooting up. And things aren't much better for the government. An economist now out of Boston University is saying that the government is hiding the true amount of the debt and practicing Enron-like accounting. No. He says that our real debt is 15 times higher than the government estimates. He's calculating it now at $202 trillion if you include the non-budgetary items like unfunded liabilities, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, the defense, the budget, Fannie and Freddie. $202 trillion. Can't get your way out of that box. All right, some of the other things that are happening just in the news today. Been 6 months. Americans still have no idea what's in the health care bill, even though Nancy Pelosi said once it's passed, we'd find out, and oh boy, are we finding out. One thing we do know about the bill, it is now about to destroy private insurance companies, making it more difficult for children to get health insurance. Now, this is something that I told you over a year ago was coming. How did I know that? Well, I'm not a prophet, I'm not a seer, I'm not a revelator, I'm a guy that listens to what they say, and I don't dismiss because it sounds crazy. That's what they're counting on. They're counting on you going, well, no, nobody would do that. No. Yes, they would, and they are. That's how a lot of the stuff that we've talked about the last 3 nights, you knew 15 months ago because I told you it would happen, and now it is. We looked at it, again, this is what your friends are doing. Your friends are looking at it through their eyes. Well, we believe in the free market. We believe in small government. We got to have... They're still arguing the size of government. Should it be bigger or a little smaller, or much bigger or much smaller? No, forget about that. These are the eyes that everything needs to be viewed in, and all of a sudden the news makes sense, and you'll be able to predict them. Obama said that his ultimate goal was a single-payer tax system. Now, I told you that when we were going through healthcare, the single-payer system was where he wanted to be. I wasn't guessing. I played his own words. He said that that's what he wanted, and you would have to get there and take it one step at a time. Here's what I played for you.
I happen to be a proponent of a single-payer universal health care plan. Single-payer health care plan, universal health care plan. That's what I'd like to see. But as all of you know, we may not get there immediately.
Notice the sign underneath him is AFL-CIO. Okay, that was in 2003. I played it for you all during the debate. Nobody would listen. In March, once the health care was passed, notice he doesn't say here that he's against it or he didn't want it or anything like that. He's angry at this charge. Listen to the exchange between him and an audience member.
That's not in it. Because we couldn't get it through Congress. That's why.
Okay, that's why. He couldn't get it through Congress. Otherwise, it would have been there. No, you said you were against it after you said you were for it. So you have to look at it through their eyes and listen. One of the steps to drive private insurers out is to make them unprofitable. See, that's how they know. They couldn't pass it through Congress, so they know. They just build a system and then force it to collapse slowly but surely through all kinds of regulations. You make insurance unprofitable. Obamacare mandates insurers cover all pre-existing conditions. They cannot refuse anyone. Well, that's like telling the, the casinos that they must cover everybody. Everybody must win, even if they don't make a bet. Well, casinos will go out of business. Yes, but it's fair. They won't even recognize. They don't need all that money. They won't even notice all that money's gone. All right, that leaves the door open for people now to not pay for their health insurance But as soon as they get sick, they call on these companies and then sign up for health insurance, and then the insurance company has to pay when they're sick. Insurers have done the math. They will lose money big time. They will not stay in business, so they are dropping out of the market. Now, who's going to get blamed? Of course, the media will spin it as the big evil insurers. And who will be there to save the day? The government. Collapse the system, but make sure, see if this sounds familiar, I told you this over a year ago, make sure you have the net, the framework, so it collapses into your arms. This is the progressive pattern. Create a crisis, so people say, fix it! And then you have the structure and the solution in place. Well, people, luckily, are becoming more and more aware of what is going on. 61% of the American people now believe we are on the wrong track. I can't believe it's not higher than that. 68% of Americans believe lowering taxes is the way to create jobs. So why aren't they doing it? Because, as I showed you last night, it's not what they believe. They do not believe in the free market system. They do not believe in small government. I told you in their own words what they believed. So now, if you look at it from their perspective, now their actions make seemingly bizarre actions totally understandable. Why do they refuse to lower taxes? Because it will grow jobs. It makes America stronger. It makes individuals wealthier, and it makes them in turn less dependent on government for solutions, and more difficult for them to achieve the goal of global redistribution of wealth and global government and global governance. It becomes clear why our wealth is falling. It's by design. The current science czar, John Holdren, he advocates for the de-development of America. Well, if you're advocating for the de-development of America, think of that, then your science czar would be happy to see the wealth go down, because it's the leveling of the playing field. Now, why do they not tell you what's in healthcare? Because they know you don't want government healthcare. But by the time you figure out that's exactly what they did, it's going to be too late. Because those companies will be out of business, they'll be gone. Once America figures it out, it's too late. That's why they've got to make all of this stuff sound like a conspiracy theory. That's why they do everything they can to just keep it under the cover, just accuse, crazy. But then it ends up happening. Well, why? Because you've lost now a year and a half. It's going to become too late eventually when the rest of America figures it out. Why do they hide the real debt? Because they know you're not this person. You're not Cloward and Piven. You don't want to collapse the system. You don't want to have Bill Ayers and Acorn and SEIU and everybody else, these global elites. This isn't you. You will do the hard thing, so your children will have an opportunity to have an America and a chance for liberty later on. So what they do is they hide it. They keep going with this charade until they've got their structure in place, and then they have complete control over you. Now listen to me. That is a powerful statement. That is an amazing claim to make on national TV, to say that progressives in power right now, these people, are putting in place a system that will control every aspect of your life.